Kingsway Regional High School is the two-time defending Group 3 champions. Pitman Panthers would like to become Group 1 champions and get back to the promised land since 1998. Gloucester County Educational Network presents Tri-County Conference Boys Basketball. It's the Kingsway Dragons hosting the Pitman Panthers. Edwards and Shawn Leary alongside Rob Edwards. We're in the Kingsway Regional Gymnasium. This has been a very exciting couple of years for the Kingsway Dragons. They start off to a terrific start, 7-1. Yep. Tremendous leaders on this floor. George Pasante, the coach. There's a lot of high expectations here at Kingsway. Absolutely. George Pasante has resurrected this Kingsway basketball program along with their star point guard, Rondell Gilmore. Just scored 1,000 points. He's going Division I or Division II. It's been a whirlwind season, whirlwind couple of years for this team. And we'll get to Gilmore Lane in just a minute. For Pitman, they come in undefeated. You know, they've done nothing more than just dominate its opponents. They have a tough opponent tonight, though, but Pitman certainly has had a successful start to the season. And it's been 4 years for this Pitman squad. They've been just on the cusp with Luke Dixon and Dylan Colgate winning records, but they haven't gotten to where Kingsway has been. For Kingsway, for Pitman, you got to look at Luke Dixon. This is a guy who's a point guard, a senior, a guard for this team, a senior leader. He's certainly a guy who makes the engine run for the Panthers. The one thing I say to everybody who asks about Luke Dixon is if you haven't seen him, spend the $3 and go see this kid. 5'8", senior point guard. He's been unbelievable for 4 years, approaching 2,000 points. He's going to join the Crispin brothers, and we know what kind of players they were. Well, for Rondell Gilmore, there wasn't much he could add to his game, so he added to his name. He's now Rondell Gilmore Lane, but this is a dynamic basketball player, a football player, but also a terrific basketball player. He's going to dictate the pace of this game tonight. He's one of the biggest kids on the floor and one of the fastest, and that's the kind of game Kingsway wants to play tonight. Keep it up-tempo and keep the Panthers on their heels. Well, one of these two teams are going to walk out of this gym with a loss, but it's not going to be an easy one. Both teams come into this game with a combined record of 14-1. We're going to have the tip-off after this. Back here at Kingsway Regional High School, set for the jump between the Dragons. Kingsway, white uniforms, red letters, and Pitman in its black uniforms, the away jerseys. Kingsway will start with Rondell Gilmore Lane, guard, 6'2" senior. I mentioned him in the open. Troy Jenkins, a forward, 6'3" senior, number 5. Number 11, Kyler Grigsby, 6' senior guard. They're going to jump again. Ball controlled by Luke Dixon, number 15. Jordan Fagan, the forward, 6'4" senior for Kingsway. And Jason Conway, 6'6" senior forward. Inside, Dylan Kilgate.
Dixon right to Colgate right off the bat. You're going to see that all night.
Colgate gives that inside-outside presence along with Dixon. Dixon also is able to create his own shot and drive to the basket. Dixon bringing the ball up. Point guard for this Panther squad. And we're going to move the ball around. We'll get to their starting lineup in just a minute. It's John Sayer over to Joe Kelly. Good look inside by Dixon. That's Alec Matchett, 6'3" senior forward. Fouled on the play, he'll go to the line. The Panthers starting lineup, it's John Sayer, a 5'8" senior guard. Will join Dixon in that backcourt. Dixon, a 5'8" senior. Forwards are Joe Kelly, a 6'5" senior, and Colgate, 6'5" senior, along with Alec Matchett at the line, the 6'3" senior. So what it boils down to, there's a lot of seniors on the court. All 10 who start today's game are seniors, and
it's a last hurrah type season for both teams. Trying to get that final championship for this class going out.
Good rebound inside by Conway. Grigsby off the mark. Pitman controls the rebound. Up 3, 6:55 just started in this one. Packed gymnasium on a Friday night. Here's Dixon from the outside, pulled down by Matchett. Pitman will set up the offense once again at Dixon with a crossover. They're going to get a foul. They'll give the Dragons' possession. Already mentioned in the open, Georgie Pasanti, the coach here for Kingsway, control of this Dragon program. Kevin Crawford, a name very familiar to South Jersey basketball enthusiasts. He is the head coach for Panthers. Trying to go inside, stolen. And match it. Gonna pull it back out. Wisely set up the offense for Pitman. Will try to work it around. Good give and go. Off the mark, good rebound and blocked on the inside. Big block by Troy Jenkins.
And there goes Gilmore setting the pace. Right down the floor, pulls up for the jumper. He's gonna do that. And Kingsway's gonna really try and keep the tempo up here.
That's one thing the Dragons like to do is push the ball. They like to get out and run in transition, create easy baskets. Trail by one here. Pitman's going to set the offense up. They're going to go outside. That's Colgate.
That's not ill-advised. Dylan can also shoot the three. He's an undersized center, but he has great ball control.
A lot is mentioned about Luke Dixon, but certainly Dylan Colgate is, if it's 1A, he's certainly 1B. For this Panther squad.
And that's Colgate's third or fourth rebound just 3 minutes into this one.
Dixon in control. We'll try to pull it out, almost stolen by Conway. Good drive to the basket. Nice job by Dylan Colgate, his fourth point of the game. Pitman up 5-2. Jenkins. Looking for Gilmore, trying to set it up. Good look at an outside shot, off the mark. Conway battling for Dixon. Conway's going to win that most of the time. So going to set it up. Grigsby pulls it out, just off the mark. We're going to get a foul over the back. Looks like it's going to be Jason Conway. 33 with an over the back. Personal.
This Pitman team is a little bit bigger than they have been in the past. Joe Kelly and Alex Matchett helping Dylan Colgate down low. They're going to share some of the foul trouble and obviously some of the time in the paint.
Here's Dixon going to try to create his own shot. Doesn't get the roll. Pulled down by Jenkins. Here's Gilmore. Over to Jordan Fagan, back to Gilmore. Gilmore, like Dixon, can create his own shot off the dribble. Get it out to Jenkins. Jenkins with a short jumper off the mark. Rob had mentioned that is the fourth rebound for Colgate. Good move on the inside, drawing the foul. Luke Dixon will go to the line.
A little surprised that Kingsway's content in the half-court offense right now. I figured they'd be running up and down the court, at least in this first quarter.
And that's something that I talked with Joe Galera, the athletic director here at Kingsway. And his team predicated the success of this team predicated on transition and trying to get out and run. So that's something early on to see if Pitman can slow this team down. So far, advantage Panthers. Luke Dixon with his first point of the game. Dixon, one of the area leaders in scoring, right, Al?
Absolutely, I believe he is the area leader. Around 23 and a half per game so far this season.
Good rebound off the mark, however, for Conway. So Pitman with a 7-2 advantage here, 3:33 left in the first quarter. Let's have a timeout by either team. Into the game is Jeff Wood for Pitman. Good look inside for Colgate. Colgate, good find underneath. Not able to finish is Dixon, and out with it is Grigsby. Gilmore, spot up three off the mark. Pitman going the opposite direction. Here's Dixon. Kingsway side does not like that call on Jordan Fagan. It looked like he might have got all ball on Colgate. Colgate will go to the line.
Dixon and Colgate playing together so long, they always know where each other are. going to see a lot of no-look passes from the both of them to each other, like we've seen on the previous possession. Colgate finding Dixon underneath, even though he wasn't able to finish. Luke's able to get loose down low. Dylan's going to find him.
Let's see here, Dixon. You just mentioned that no-look pass.
Looked like a good call.
Nice effort, however. Not able to hear the ball going out of bounds. It's Joe Kelly for this Pitman squad. Mentioned the size for Pitman now. They've certainly increased their ability to jump with the trees here in the Tri-County Conference. Added the size to this team. A couple guys well over 6 feet. We're going to get the ball inside to Conway. Conway going to body up, not able to pull it. Not able to get the ball to drop. Trailing 7-2 here, the Dragons back on defense with 2:38 remaining in this first quarter. Watching the Gloucester County Educational Network with a spot-up jump off the mark, and a good rebound by Troy Jenkins in second. Here's Gilmore trying to go coast to coast, and it's blocked. Blocked by Alec Matchett. Into the game is John Boyd, going to spell Joe Kelly. So Pitman going to its bench here in the first quarter. Kingsway will counter with Brad Fagan. 6'5" junior will come in to spell Conway. Conway with 3 rebounds.
Brad Fagan's a threat all over the court. He was originally in the starting lineup. About 2 weeks ago, George Basante pulled him out because he gives such a spark off the bench. We'll see if he can do that here tonight, down 7-2.
Basante has certainly pulled the right strings over the last couple of years, Rob. Being defending Group 3 champions and a pretty good classification there in South Jersey. You have some of the elite teams in Group 3, and you got to really respect what this team has done over the last few seasons. So low scoring game here, 7-2. Just a couple of minutes left here in the first quarter. Kingsway going to work the ball around. Into its zone defense. Trying to go left hand is Grigsby. Good effort by Grigsby. To grab his own rebound. 7-4 now. The Dragons cut into the lead. Here's Dixon flying up the court. Pull up jumper, no good, off the mark. Going to get a jump ball. Good hustle that time by Jeff Wood. No avail. Kingsway with the arrow, so they'll retain possession here.
Dixon just seems a tad off to start the game. Let's see when he gets it going.
Might spell bad things ahead for the Dragons if they find themselves trailing and Dixon hasn't started off with a hot hand, but you look at Gilmore Lane and he can do the same as well. Here's Gilmore Lane. Going to have some adjustment to getting used to that name, right, Rob? We just found out before the game we had to add Lane to his name. Jordan Fagan buries the 3. Evens things up here at 7-all. 54 seconds remain here in the first quarter.
Great
Good look
pass.
inside. Nice look by Luke Dixon. Finding Matchett for his 3rd point of the game. Here's Grigsby. Excuse me, that's Jenkins. 32 seconds here for Pitman. They hold a 9-7 advantage. Colgate from the top.
I can't imagine I'm taking an early shot here.
Coach Crawford telling his team to run through the offense, try and settle for that final shot of the quarter. His team up by 2. 5 seconds. Trying to look up court, 1 second. Gets the shot off and not going to be able to fall. So, scoring at a premium so far. The Dragons find themselves down to the visiting Panthers 9-7. You're watching the Gloucester County Educational Network. Pitman will have possession here to start off the second quarter. They also hold a 2-point lead over Kingsway. Before the game, Rob, Coach Pisante was awarded with a plaque, his 100th win. And Rondell Gilmore Lane with the basketball for his 1,000th point. 2 achievements from 2 fixtures here over the last few years. Kingsway, good strong drive to the basket by Dylan Colgate.
Pisante's 100 wins is an unbelievable feat for him. You know, some coaches that take 6, 7, 10 years to get to. I believe he's done it in 5 here in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, he's accumulated 70 wins, 25 win seasons. Nothing like this Kingsway High School has ever seen before.
Coming from the Washington Township program. Coming from Washington Township, I mean, this is a guy who's had a remarkable start to his career here at Kingsway, as Rob just mentioned. It just illustrates some of the really good coaches here in South Jersey, and that is
Of course, he's had help from that guy, Rondell Gilmore Lane.
Rondell Gilmore Lane with a 3-pointer to pull within 2. Colgate going to drive. You're going to get an offensive foul. Good position by Gilmore Lane underneath. That's on Colgate. It's his first. Team's second foul. Pitman in its zone. Good look on the inside. Good pass and good finish. That's Brad Fagan, the junior. Trying to get the ball inside to Colgate with Conway on the bench. Little tip drill. Pitman will retain possession. Pitman will work the ball around. There's Dixon. Dixon with a 3-ball.
You can't give him that much space.
His first field goal of the game. He has 5 points. Fagan trying to get the ball back out to Gilmore. Strong drive, no foul, and Colgate almost stepped. It looked like he might have stepped out of bounds. I think that's the call on Kyler Grigsby.
Or stepped on a player who was out of bounds.
That's never good. Any way you look at it. Especially for Dylan Colgate, who was the one being stepped on.
Colgate calling for the ball again down low.
Deep 3, off the mark for Dixon, and here's Grigsby. Gilmore in the corner. The matching guarding Gilmore now. It's Grigsby with his 4th point of the game. 15-14, Pitman running a lead here, early stages of the 2nd quarter.
Gilmore does a majority of scoring for the Dragons, but Grigsby can fill it up as well. He's already had 2 double-digit scoring games this season.
Grigsby a certain compliment for this Dragon team. You see Colgate with another turnaround. That's his 9th point. Nearly good. Good 3-ball by Jordan Fagan. We're all locked up at 17. Dixon going to kick it out. Colgate over to John Boyd off the back of the rim. That's going to be Kingsway possession. So Conway and Julian Tension, 6'3" senior forward, will come into the game to give Troy Jenkins and Jordan Fagan a spell here with 5 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter. Colgate, good start to this game for Dylan Colgate. We talked about 2 of the stars of this game when you look at Luke Dixon and Rondell Gilmore Lane, but Dylan Colgate, as we had mentioned, is certainly a 1A, 1B type player. I mean, he is not going to fall into the shadows of Luke Dixon in anybody's book. I mean, this is a guy who has a tremendous amount of respect from some of the South Jersey coaches, right, Rob?
Absolutely, and he has an outside shot at 2,000 points himself. So as much press as Dixon gets, and obviously the point guard is, you know, the position that's talked about more as Rondell Gilmore Lane hits a three there. Dylan definitely does his fair share underneath for the Panthers.
Gilmore Lane now with 8 points.
Once those threes start falling for the Dragons, Pitman could be in trouble.
That's Kingsway's first lead here, 2017. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Gonna get a foul on Dixon.
That foul's out of frustration, Sean. You can tell Luke is not happy with the way things have started here for him.
As Kingsway holds the ball, they also hold a 3-point lead. Dixon gonna give Grigsby room, and they're gonna travel. Travel on the Dragons and Gilmore Lane. There's Dixon going through his screen, really set by Conway. So Dixon with the field goal, and it looked like on that play, it looked like Kingsway kind of screened themselves with Conway kind of getting mixed up with his own teammate, giving Dixon a good look at the basket. It looked like Joe Kelly might have took an elbow to the chops. It didn't phase him though.
Pitman getting their fair share of the calls here at Kingsway tonight. Calls going their way, that is.
There's Dixon. Inside to Colgate. Guarded by Conway. Kingsway trying to run. Spot up three. No! Brad Fagan with a 3-ball. 23-19. Kingsway in front.
Basante gives this team free reign to shoot the three.
So that man has free reign to shoot anytime he feels. Luke Dixon. Now with 10 points, quickly filling up the stat sheet. Good rebound by Brad Fagan. Fagan with his spot up three. Brad Fagan catching fire here. Kingsway up 26-22, 2:30 left. Rob had mentioned Fagan's a kid who can also score, and moving him to the bench certainly brings a guy who can come off the bench and give your bench some scoring.
And Luke's heating up here.
This is the type of tempo I think everyone expected, Rob, with two teams being able to put points on the board. Both defenses are going to be tested. Conway low, kick it back out to Fagan.
Let's see what adjustments Pitman makes on the perimeter defense.
Gilmore Lane does not like the call. Neither does the Kingsway fans, with Pitman 2 minutes left. Have a chance to tie or go in front. There you see George Basante. Here's Colgate. Off the mark. Alec Matchett. Jordan Fagan will come into the game. Conway gonna get a breather with 1:41 left. Sante wants to make sure Conway well rested and make sure he doesn't get into foul trouble right here before this half comes to a close. Gilmore Lane inside, really in tension, getting a few minutes here in this first half. Good screen set by Tension. It's going to give Gilmore Lane the open look, and Gilmore Lane takes advantage. his third three ball of the game, now with 11 points. Dixon with 12.
This is where Kingsway breaks games open, that three-point line. They've done it all year, and they did it a lot last year.
Excellent ability to shoot the basketball on those important screens set up by some of the role players like Julian Tension. Takes a little crossover, sets up his own shot off the mark. Taking with a rebound, Grigsby. Jordan and Brad Fagan in now, so we'll have to differentiate between the two. Good look. Off the knees of Tension. Outside three. The Dragons are on fire. Jordan Fagan now.
You can just picture Jordan and Brad shooting it out in the driveway. Nothing like a 6-foot-tall practice buddy.
32-24, 8 seconds remain. Coach Bisante ripping the hairs out of the back of his head after that call. Gonna get the trip. Gonna send Matchett to the line. Get a good look at Matchett.
Younger brother of Tim Matchett, a 1,000-point scorer for Pitman a few years ago.
Pretty good team, that Pitman team, but not with the likes of Matchett. Didn't have somebody like Luke Dixon.
He didn't have a lot of help on those years.
The Dragons breathing fire before the half from the three-point line, 35-25. Kingsway will go into the locker room with the lead. You're watching the Gloucester County Educational Network. The Dragons out in front of the Panthers, 35-25. Back here at Kingsway Regional High School, the Dragons out in front of Pitman, 35-25. Ready to start the third quarter. Shawn Leary along with Rob Edwards.
Probably a closer game than the score indicates right now. Kingsway with a few three balls in that second quarter to really break open the scoring.
Yeah, Kingsway lit it up from three-point territory, scoring 28 points in that second quarter. With 16 and find themselves now trailing by 10. It wasn't until 4 minutes left in the second quarter for Kingsway to get its first lead. Turned it on in transition, finding open three-pointers to get the 10-point cushion.
Like I mentioned earlier, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Pitman makes to keep them off the perimeter.
They're going to make better adjustments on Troy Jenkins and rebounding. A cursory effort by Pitman on the glass in that possession, and trying to get the ball inside to Colgate. That did work in the first quarter. Colgate did have 9 points. Here's Dixon. He led Pitman in that first half with 10 points. Go to the line. Here you see Luke Dixon. Like to go to Chestnut Hill.
He's going
to Chestnut Hill.
Going to play with Mark DeRogeris of Woodbury.
Little D-Row combo. And Luke.
That's going to be a heck of a tandem. Yeah.
So Dixon with hitting one of the 2 free throws. Here's Gilmore. Gilmore did not cool off in the locker room.
Gilmore Lane is feeling it. That's 17 for him already.
So Gilmore with the 5 3-pointers. Go with the 1 field goal. And Kingsway extending its lead to 14. And here's Gilmore Lane getting his award prior to the game, the 1,000-point score. It's a shot with Joe Galera. See Joe Galera is the athletic director here, some of the cheerleaders. I wanted to give a special shout out to Juliana Basillo. She came out and helped me early on, gave me a pencil. I had nothing to write with. When you talk about a cursory effort, it was a cursory effort on my part. I come to a game without a pencil, and I'm a writer.
Pencil-less.
Yes, I was. Well, this Stan Ritter in our ear shouts out, our executive producer. He says, our director, he says it's just like high school. So kind of, I know I'm going to high school, forget my stuff at home type stuff. It's the same feel. It's just all reverting back.
Pretty much. I went to Kingsway for 4 years, so I'm sure there's a few people that can vouch for that here for me.
I'm sure. Some people joke around, but it's certainly true in our case. 45, that's Joe Kelly.
Realistically, Pitman has to cut this lead in half before this quarter ends.
Good point. They have to work into this lead. Not a team besides Dixon who's going to fire up a lot of threes, although Colgate can shoot from the outside. Kingsway with the up-tempo style likes this pace of play, likes where the score is. So here's Joe Kelly. Over to Jeff Wood. Jeff Wood getting the start here in the second. Dixon just short. Gilmore with a good effort. Along with Alec Matchett. Pitman basketball. Stepped on the line. That's going to be a turnover on Pitman. That was Jeff Wood. Jeff Wood claims, Rob. Jeff Wood claims he is ranked 4th in the world in Madden.
I'm 3rd.
That's what it says on his sheet. So
I'm gonna have to ask him about it.
Yeah, well, this could be a story for you in the Gloucester County Times to find out if this is true or not. But if he is ranked 4th in Madden, you can get big money for that.
Sounds like
right?
he could win me some money somehow.
Isn't that like with Madden you can win all kinds of money playing video games?
Absolutely. I'm sure he's laughing right now as he watches this.
Well, yeah, saying fools, they believe everything they read. Good look on the inside that time. Brad Fagan. You see, back in the day when we played video games, our parents would just holler, get off the game. They didn't, we'd say, oh, we can make money off this someday. I had no idea. Imagine how good we would be if we would have continued to play video games.
I would have never stopped.
I'd be a veteran. Pitfall, I dominated on Pitfall.
All that time I wasted playing sports.
What's funny is I say Pitfall and you have no reaction. That tells the age difference.
I had an Atari when I was little.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
All right. Conway look inside off the front of the rim. Kingsway pulls it down. It's Jenkins. Jenkins will kick it back out. Gilmore for an open look for Grigsby. Conway with a good, strong rebound inside.
Basante is livid with that call.
And Conway did not like the call. Got to control his temper. Basante immediately jumps out there and says, get back down the court. You don't say anything to the referee. I love when coaches take control of the team. It's going to be a turnover on Colgate. Kingsway has done a nice job on Colgate since that first quarter where he started to light up a little bit. Timeout going to be called. Jenkins could not find an open teammate. And they're calling 5 seconds, so a turnover. They did not get the timeout. So Bob Green and Georgie Passante right now a little excited. You see Basante in the white shirt. Bob Green sits down. Does not block out the sun. In doing so, Bob Green with the big, Bob Green's got to be at least 6'6", 6'7", 6'8".
It's bigger than me.
Yeah, he is.
Pitman cannot afford to turn the ball over like that.
Get this team in transition, and Kingsway will make it pay. 42-28, midway through the third quarter here. Pitman right now trying to find an answer. Colgate. Here's Dixon. Dixon will fire from 3 and hit.
And now Pitman puts the press on.
Coach Crawford trying to get a few steals. Get some easy baskets for his Panther squad. They trail by 11 right now, Rob. 42-31. But I think you mentioned this. They're going to continue to cut into this lead.
It's one thing to put the press on too, Sean. It's another to get back when Kingsway's transitioning. You don't want to give up the easy layups down 11.
Exactly right. And that is Kingsway's strong suit, is being able to push the basketball, play up tempo, and get into transition. So you kind of play into the hand if the press does not work. Good look. Here's a short jumper. Off the mark. So Pitman could put it to single digits once again. Is Wood. Wood buries the three-pointer from the corner, and Kingsway now with a 42-34 lead. Conway going strong. The big fella. It's his first points of the game. Really credits football and Coach Barchuk to improving his skills on the court. His agility has become a lot better. There you see with a block by the big guy. Jay Easy, they call him here. Kingsway, dad played basketball. Funny guy. Well liked in school. Liked to play football at Monmouth, Townsend, Bloomsburg, or Wagner for football. Major in education or business. Three-pointer. Off for Dixon. Little girl got a little shave by the basketball. You see her there in the stands, third row. She was standing on the ball, basically grazed her.
Her dad's laughing. I don't know how funny that is.
Yeah. He said you should have used your hands. You got to put your hands up. You always got to be ready. She was open. Pitman out on the break. You're going to get a foul on Rondell Gilmore Lane, and George Pisani is going to be fine with that foul. Open. You don't want to give him an open layup, Rob.
No, that's a great foul. Dixon's automatic, obviously.
10-point lead for Kingsway. Here's Dixon. Trying to switch on Dixon. Good find inside. Colgate looks like he lost control of the ball. Pitman with a good find. They get one of the legendary coach's sons in South Jersey, Coach Crawford, Kevin Crawford. Rob, that's one of the outstanding hires somebody you're going to find, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are more familiar with his father at Camden Catholic than I am, but obviously a legend there. And Kevin has done a great job since he stepped in. You know, it's not easy to step in with two stars at the high school level and have them adapt to your system. And obviously, Dylan and Luke have adapted to what Kevin's brought to the table here.
This staff is comprised of Jeff Smith, Jeff Cloudard, Gene Cuneo, and Matt Healy. That's not going to help the Panthers' chances. Trail by 10 with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
They played so well defensively in that first quarter, but again, Kingsway opened it up from the perimeter.
Strong move to the rim. Not able to get it to drop. It's Gilmore Lane. Here's Dixon. Dixon going to try to drive to the basket. And I think it's a good idea for Dixon to try to get himself to the free throw line. Picking up some fouls on the hometown Dragons. Coming into the game, it's tension. Out comes Conway. Good minutes from Jay Easy. I love the nicknames, don't I?
You love them.
Here's the foul. Trying to figure out who it's on. So tension comes into the game. His dad played basketball at Lincoln High in South Carolina and played at Morgan State University. The early 80s. Foul on Colgate. Kingsway with the ball, 44-34. Troy Jenkins in the game.
Picks up foul number 3.
So that's Wood with the foul.
Gilmore Lane is just so fast, and Pitman really doesn't have an answer to guard him one-on-one. Nobody can duplicate that speed. Luke Dixon might be able to, but the height differential is just not going to help.
Yeah, the speed, he can certainly match him, Rob, but you're right, he certainly owns a few inches. Gilmore Lane listed at 6'2", Dixon at 5'8". So there you see Dragons in the huddle. See them, Jordan Fagan, number 22. Now Jordan and his brother Brad, we talked about their ability to go out and probably shoot around. They're both into music, right? So Brad, he loves to dance. Jordan, he's big into singing. So you can not only imagine the two of them not only playing basketball, but Jordan singing a tune, Brad dancing around a little bit, working off each other's skills. Gilmore Lane showing he can shoot the three. That's his 6th three-pointer of the game. He has 20. Kingsway now with a 13-point lead.
Pitman has to answer here.
Trying to look down low. Colgate double team. Trying to fight through the double team. Using that big body. Here's Wood. Going to fire from 3. The back of the rim. Good rebound by Kelly. Dixon going to control. 47 seconds left remaining here in the third. Dixon, spot up. Off the mark, Gilmore rebound. Gilmore Lane. Pulling it down, taking control. 34 seconds here in the third. Jenkins over to Brad Fagan. Back over to tension. Kingsway content to run some clock here. Snake by Gilmore Lane. Dixon with a good feed to Colgate. Colgate.
They make it look easy, don't they?
Easy transition bucket. 5 seconds here for Kingsway. Not sure if Grigsby knows. 2 seconds. Just off the front of the rim for Troy Jenkins, but the Dragons increase their lead. At 1 point, they hold it an 11-point margin here against the Panthers. The Dragons out in front, 47-36. You're watching the Gloucester County Educational Network. Back here for the fourth quarter at Kingsway Regional High School. The Dragons out in front, 47-36 over Pitman. Pitman, the Group 1 squad, coming in with a perfect record. And is certainly going to be tested here in the fourth quarter, Rob. They trail by 11. You have the work cut out for them, but playing against not only a Group 3 school, but the two-time defending champions in South Jersey, Kingsway. They're going to need a lot more of that from Dylan Colgate here in the fourth quarter if they want to get back into this one. They trail by 9. Good look inside. Tension with a soft little left. Goes down. Tension with his first points of the game. Kingsway back to a double-digit lead.
These games for Pitman before the cutoff date, the playoff cutoff date, are so crucial. And you can tell because Pennsgrove head coach Kemp Carr and Paulsboro head coach Sean Collins are both in attendance for this one.
Good block. That looked clean by Colgate. Going to get the foul from behind. Colgate doesn't like the call. Now, a loss like this, how much does it hurt him for a seeding? Does the NJSI look at that at all?
It won't matter as far as they're playing a Group 3 team. What it's going to come down to is I think the Group 1 seed is only going to go into the tournament with 1 or 2 losses. So you're talking about the difference between a 1 and a 2 seed and playing the championship game at your place.
So does it make sense to schedule a team like this? I mean, the schedule's already set.
Pitman needed to step up their strength of schedule this year. I think Kevin Crawford has realized that might have hurt them in the past, especially last year when they could only reach the semifinals. So playing a team like this, it really prepares you for the playoffs.
So it's okay. It's okay.
It would be a good loss for Pitman if you can look at something like that.
But you don't want to pile up too many, like you had mentioned. Home and that number 1 seed now so much more important with now the home team.
Especially in Group 1. The out-of-area teams, of course, you don't want to travel to a place like Burlington City. You don't want to have to go to Paulsboro. You don't want to have to go to Woodbury with those crowds in the playoffs.
So Colgate here with his 5th point.
And a chance to cut it back to 10.
So press put on here by Pitman. Kingsway will try to work its offense, get a good open shot. They hold the 10-point lead here. Tension. They'll find Gilmore Lane.
It looks like Kingsway's going to be content to slow the game down.
You have a 10-point lead. You can dictate what type of game you want to play here in the fourth quarter. That big outburst in that second quarter, last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the big difference so far in this game. Troy Jenkins is at all the 6 points here in the second half. Doing a real nice job in that half-court set.
Dixon tries to get into the lane, but 4 guys collapse.
Trying to sky and go up. It's Brad Fagan. Not able to deliver, but offensive foul call.
And that's the spark I was talking about.
Good find to see Gilmore Lane's explosiveness down the court. Trying to look, and here's Fagan once again. Fagan.
Got a little ahead of himself there. I think he wanted to dunk again.
He's thinking about it. Travel on Wood. Kingsway with a 12-point lead, 5:35 left here in the fourth quarter. Shawn Leary joined with Rob Edwards on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Glad to bring you this Tri-County Conference interdivision game. Here's Dixon. Steal from behind by Gilmore Lane, and he's going to be called for the foul. I don't think he agrees with it. So Dixon.
Pitman has to find a way to free up Dixon outside.
Pitman has struggled from the free throw line tonight, Rob, and that's something that's hurt them in some regard here when you look at this game. Oh, nice job by Wood. So Wood will go to the line. Now you have to convert, especially with time winding down here in this one. It needs to be able to hit its free throws. Now 9 fouls. For the hometown Kingsway team here in the second half.
Even if Pitman ends up falling in this one, I'd like to see a little sense of urgency out of this team. Down 11 now, maybe cutting it to 10. You don't want to trade baskets here on out.
Good off the mark, but Colgate steals, puts it up and in, and Kingsway now with a 10-point lead as Pitman is cutting into this double-digit lead for the Dragons. Gilmore Lane, a running one-hander off the mark, but good rebound and put back by Troy Jenkins. TJ has opened things up here in the second half. Good strong move to the basket. That's match it. Nine-point lead for Kingsway. Could have been a travel called on Jordan Fagan. Wood's going to come out and get the foul on Gilmore Lane. It'll send Gilmore Lane to the foul line. Now, what would somebody like Kip Carr from Penns Grove or Coach Collins over at Paulsboro, what would they get from looking at this? Because you're seeing against good competition, what you can do against a team like Pitman?
I know exactly what they're looking for. Both teams, Paulsboro and Penns Grove, run a full court press for a majority of the game, and what they're looking for mostly is see how Pitman deals with that. That's why they're seeing them play a team like Kingsway who puts that press, who's athletic, just like Paulsboro and Penns Grove are.
You know a little bit. You should probably cover high school boys basketball for a newspaper.
You know any papers hiring?
Do a TC. I knew a paper that might be firing. You see Rob Edwards basketball coverage, the Gloucester County Times. Does a good job with the notebook.
Not everyone thinks so, but I try.
So now George Pisante says his team slow down. Coach Crawford saying speed things up. Let's go. We're trailing by 9. I'm trailing by 9. You'd like to see, or excuse me, by 11. I'd like to see some type of better possession. I'd like to see a better possession if you Coach Crawford. You're going to get a full timeout here from Pitman.
Woodbury's Kenny Ava in the house as well. This must be the only game in town tonight.
Yeah, you would think so. There's everybody in attendance that, especially in Group 1. Kenny Avett, now he's a guy, Rob, you pointed this out to me at the newspaper a few nights ago. You talk about struggles and really getting frustrated with how the season has gone. Woodbury, over the last couple of years, has been dynamic in Group 1. And Kenny Avett, you know, he has to be going nuts. This is a team that's lost 4 or 5 games, 6 games by only 2 points.
6 games by, I believe, 10 points total. Combined 10 points.
It's
only going to make them stronger, though. You see a team like Pitman. That's why I'd like to see them bring this one close and see what they can do at the end. Even if they lose, they've been in that tight situation. There's not going to be a lot of games in the regular season in the Tri-County Classic that they're in that type of situation. Kingsway, on the other hand, in the Tri-County Royal, they've already played a tough one against Williamstown. They pulled it out. A tough one against Clearview. They pulled that out as well.
See, that's a Pitman where they might have that, what I call the West Deptford effect, is you're so good within your conference that you don't get the ability to get into close games and see how your team will react, and that can hurt during the playoffs. It seemed like that hurt the Eagles in football this year, the West Deptford Eagles, when they played against Haddonfield. No, I want to disrespect Haddonfield and what Frank Delano did, but West Deptford certainly credited that. And you could see that they were kind of flat, not knowing how to play in a tight game. You wonder if that may happen to Pitman down the road. Right now they trail by 11 with chance for Kingsway to go up by more.
And don't get me wrong, I'll take Luke Dixon and Dylan Colgate. You know, the old question, which quarterback do you want in the final 2 minutes? You know, I'll take these guys in the final 2 minutes of any game against any competition, but you're right, it's for the other players. It's to see what plays you're going to run. It's the situational more than how the players are going to react.
Something to keep your eye on for the remainder of the season is you're a big Panther fan. You kind of hope maybe there's a couple close games to see your team tested a little bit. Fagan knocks down a pair. 13-point cushion now for Kingsway. Wood off, and Kingsway intention controls the rebound in the hands of Grigsby. Gilmore Lane, nice ability to break the press. 3 minutes now. Gonna get a foul on Alec Matchett.
And no matter how good your press is, Kingsway has been there before. You know, they played 30 games the last 2 seasons, winning championships. They're used to this. To them, this is just another regular season game. Full court press at this point, I'm not sure what it's going to do.
I like Alec Matchett's sheet here, player info sheet. It says
I only want to talk about Jeff Wood.
1970. What's that?
I only want to talk about
And
Jeff
his
Wood
Madden-
and his
his ability to
Madden
play
prowess.
Well, we got to say, at least Matchett, I like when his thing, what's the most interesting thing about you? And he puts, I'm really good at memorizing.
Not a bad dancer either, I think.
Not a
you're
bad
right.
dancer. Not a bad dancer.
Personally, I'm a terrible dancer. I'm not very good at memorizing things.
Well, see, maybe you need to hang out with Alec Matchett. He can help you in both of those categories. Teach you how to memorize dance steps. Good rebound by Tension. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm a terrific dancer. I got moves, mad skills on a dance floor.
Maybe Jordan and Brad Fagan will write a song for you.
In and out, good rebound. Troy Jenkins, all 10 points here in the second half, Rob, and he has played a fantastic 18 minutes of basketball here. There's Dixon.
I have to tell you, Sean, I don't know when the last time I saw Luke Dixon and Dylan Colgate down 15 to 17 points in a game.
This is not a great showing from this Pitman team, but let's make sure that everyone understands you're playing against the 2-time defending Group 3 champions. This is a Group 1 squad, and I know a lot of people say it doesn't matter too much in basketball, but nonetheless,
this is a really good Group 3 squad they're playing.
Very good, yeah. Very good. A little bit of history on the side of the Dragons over the last few seasons. Jordan Fagan. The Fagan brothers, both of their parents played basketball at Mount St. Mary's. Not just one parent, both. So the bloodlines for the Fagans, certainly there. Here's Dixon. Little turnaround. Maybe trying to force it now, but Pitman needs to score in a hurry. If you're going to, you're going to need Dixon to light it up. 1:51 remains here in this game. 15-point margin for the hometown Dragons. Dragons came into this game 7-1. A couple of nice wins on the schedule for Kingsway. Started off with a win against Delsea and Highland. Then they beat Williamstown, Rob, 55-54. Williamstown with its first loss. Both teams coming in undefeated. Balanced scoring for that Kingsway squad in that game.
It was an unbelievable ending. Rondell Gilmore driving the length of the court in the final seconds, and he found Troy Jenkins underneath for an easy bucket.
Only lost to Malvern Prep. Beat the rival Clearview squad, 51-43. A little confusion on whose ball it is. George Pasante's making nice. Most recently, a win against Glassboro. Glassboro team struggling a little bit, 1-7. Troy Jenkins, once again, 12 points now in the second half, and he has really had a nice 19 minutes. Colgate with a foul. Looking at Pitman, they had the big win. I think you got to look at the Salem win, 63-59, second game of the year.
It keeps them ahead in the Tri-County Classic, and that's obviously one of the first goals of the season, to win that Classic division. Then you want to talk about playoff seeding and where you go from there.
First, they had another big win, I guess you could say, against maybe not a loaded team and missing Coach Bob Byatt from who retired last year, but beating a Group 4 Washington Township school, so a big win for Pitman there.
George Basante under that Coach Bob Byatt coaching tree. With Matt Kaiser taking over for him at Township, that's the 10th coach that has coached under Byatt that has gone on to be a head coach at the high school or collegiate level.
Troy Jenkins now with 14 points. 1 minute remains. Coach Basante's telling his team not to foul. Now an 18-point lead for Kingsway, as now some of the stands will start to empty. It's like now there's an entire team coming out of the stands, Rob. The Pensgrove coming over to watch? You're wrong. It looked like, oh, Paulsboro. It looked like Paulsboro came into the house to check him out. Kevin Johnson, graduate of Paulsboro, was in to see this game. Jenkins brings it down. Emphatically putting an exclamation point to this win and his second half of play. About play at Troy. Now, you have Rondell Gilmore Lane, who's an outstanding player, but somebody like Troy Jenkins or Kyle Grigsby, for them to return to that South Jersey Group 3 championship, these are the players that are going to help Gilmore Lane and others get to that spot, right?
Absolutely. A star player can only take you so far. Same with Pitman. You have a dynamic duo, and it's a two-man show with Dylan and Luke. But it's the other three guys on the court who are going to dictate how far this team goes. And same goes for Kingsway. I think Kingsway's role players are a little bit more experienced.
You have Gilmore Lane at the line. 40.7 is all that's left in this game.
Down 18. I would have picked Kingsway if anyone asked me, but I did not see this coming tonight.
Did anybody ask you?
A couple people on the way in.
A couple people, all right. Because you know, Rob, I'll give you credit.
Not
you know
enough.
What's going on?
Give me a raise. Panthers finishing strong here, though, and I wouldn't expect anything less.
So John Boyd with a chance to get into the stat sheet. More people filing out here as gym empties. That makes it easier to get outside the side onto Kings Highway. One more chance for Boyd. attention. Pulled down the rebound. Coach Basante said, let's just close this one out.
Standing out here for Kingsway.
Another one of the statement wins for this Kingsway program. Big win against one of its Gloucester County rivals. We're going to have a post-game and wrap, a couple interviews when we return. You're watching the Gloucester County Educational Network. Kingsway with a 69-50 victory over the Panthers. Back here with the winning coach and a couple players of the game. Kingsway with a big victory against Pitman, one of the rivals in Gloucester County, a team that has a tremendous amount of history, but this man to my left is making a little history himself. Now, there isn't few coaches that can pull off this. There's not even few people that can pull off this look, but you can, my friend. The tie and the sneakers, there's only a few people that can pull that off.
Well, I try, you know. Those guys make me look good, though. I wouldn't look very good if we didn't win a basketball game, though.
Coach, now you're the hunted. Everybody's looking at Kingsway saying you're two-time defending champs. This is coming into their house, trying to pull off a victory. How do you approach that now as you are now the big dogs in South Jersey?
You just got to expect it. I mean, these guys come to play every night. They come to practice every day and play hard, and we just got to treat it as another basketball game. You know, if we're the favorite, if we're not the favorite, you just play another basketball game. You don't look at it as any more than a basketball game because that's what we're playing. It's a game, and accept it as a game and just play one at a time. You know, we got done with Pitman tonight. We got to go to another good Gloucester County team in Paulsboro on Monday. So it's just another basketball game you got to look at it as.
Luke Dixon, a dynamic player, obviously, one of the leaders in South Jersey in scoring, and Dylan Kilgate, no slouch either. That combination, how do you prepare for them, and how did your team and some of the strategy that you employed against them?
We just figured Kyler Grigsby can defend with the best of them. I mean, you're not going to shut Luke out. Doesn't matter what you do. We just figured if we double team, he's too good of a passer. I mean, he's going to be a point guard at college for a reason. So we figured if we play him one-on-one, help out a lot, and you got to do a good job of trying to front Dylan because when he catches the ball in the post, most of the time he's going to score. So our objective was to try to keep him from catching it. If he doesn't catch it, he can't score. So the guys did an excellent job of executing that. To hold Pitman to 50 points is an accomplishment. I mean, I think this team scores 60 or 70 points every time out, no matter who they play. So I'm just extremely proud of the defensive effort these guys put out there.
Huge stretch at the end of that second quarter. Last 4 minutes, you guys took control of the game. That was a huge stretch, right?
Yeah, I mean, we finally shot the ball really well. It's been a while. We've been struggling from the three-point line. Glassboro, we were, I think, 6 for 29. Clearview, we were 3 for 25. And finally, we made a few shots and got our confidence back. And in the second half, we knew they were going to run at us, but we did an excellent job of getting the ball inside, and that's when Troy took over the game offensively.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for coming on with us.
Appreciate it.
And one of the things that Coach said was, hey, listen, you're going to get some second half points. He knew what he was talking about at halftime because you exploded coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, he told me to get ready. I'm going to do good on these offensive rebounds. I just got out here, got my head into the game, and just played hard.
Troy Jenkins, if no one knows who I'm talking with, 16 points in the second half. He coming in against a Pitman team, and a lot of people are talking about Dylan Colgate and, of course, Luke Dixon. Does that put a little bit of excitement in you guys where you say, listen, we're going up against two of the better players in the county? We hear a lot about these guys.
Yeah, it made us play together as a team. We had to shut them down, play good defense, and that was it.
When you guys win back-to-back championships, obviously you come out with extreme confidence. How confident is this team right now compared to the teams over the last couple of seasons?
We're extremely confident. We played together for a while, so we all know what we got to do.
Best of luck to you. Outstanding job in that second half. And we kind of know this face. He's been around for a couple of years. And Rondell Gilmore Lane now, right? We said we added a little something to his game. Well, he added something to his name, right? So that's just so everyone knows, you added the Lane because of Mom. She's always there for you, right?
Definitely. She's always there ever since I was born. When we moved all the way from Paulsboro, because I lived in Paulsboro also, and then going from just place to place with grandmom and everything, it was just a thing that I wanted to do. I've been with my mom. I haven't seen my dad in like years. My dad, he's been away from Tennessee ever since the divorce, so I just thought it was that time, get that hyphenated Lane in there. That's my family always. So, yeah.
I kind of want to hire her because I think she's at more events than actually the guys that I have. She's everywhere.
Yeah, she's definitely everywhere. She's the greatest. She's a strong woman. Ever since our grandparents passed, it's been a hard time for us, but just having her around just made everything better for me and for my other brothers, Dorian, my sister Jasmine, and my other brother Dante. That whole thing right there last year was just shut us down. We were having hard times. So yeah, she's a strong woman. She got her work wasn't doing really good for her. So just having her as my mom is just a great thing for me, obviously, because I love her to death.
I know my director's saying, why are we talking about families, not talking about basketball? But, it's like Barbara Walters special.
Family starts it off, Family is definitely that kind of pushes you to get that thing going. She's the one who got me into football, basketball, and track. She got all of us in sports. So the family is definitely a big thing for all of us, I think.
How big is this win? I know it's Pitman, a Group 1 school. There's a lot more basketball to be played, but a team that comes in with 7-0, and they got some hype coming in with Dixon and Colgate. Yeah. How important was it for you guys to come out with a victory and a decisive victory at that?
It was a good win. I think this is probably one of the first games that we actually played two people that are over 1,000 already, over 1,000 shoot for 2,000 in a couple of games they already have 2,000. So when you have that type of aspect where you got like two good players, division players going into and playing in the team, we're all hyped, we're all suited up to like get ready and play. So that mentality that we had coming in since the Glassboro game, we were just ready to play this game due to the fact that it was probably one of the games that we were ready to play, one of the hard games that we were ready to play instead of playing these low teams that we have in our schedule.
One last question, because you heated up right in that second quarter. I mean, there was everybody was just shooting threes and they were raining. That's a big stretch for you. When you see that, it looks like the rim is like, like a.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's just one big oval. It didn't look small at all. I just put it up, and that's the thing. Like me, Luke, Colgate, and everybody on the team, even Brad Fagan, Jordan Fagan, it was just a shootout. We knew that from the get-go that it was just going to be a shootout. With Luke just dropping down shots out of nowhere, it was hard contested shots too. So, with that, you can't even blame him. You just gotta be like, hey, it's a pat on the shoulder to that guy. He's just making great shots. You're getting a hand in his face, but there's nothing to do. And I just think just coming out together, we knew we had to make some shots. That's how we were going to win the game, making the shots, playing good defense.
Well, congratulations to you on that 1,000-point ball. You can't play with it. You can't be practicing in the yard with that ball.
Definitely.
That's a nice ball.
I'm going to definitely put it on my trophy case for sure.
and the sneakers and the tie, I don't know if you or I couldn't pull that off. Coach has got it. That's his look.
It's his look, definitely. He pulls anything off.
Well, congratulations to you. Best of luck as the playoffs approach in just a couple of months. A big win for Kingsway. They come in here certainly as the favorite in this game, being defending Group 3 champions for the last couple of seasons. Pitman coming in with Dixon and Colgate certainly was a game that many thought that would be a little bit closer than the score finally indicated. But Kingsway with a huge win at home against Pitman. You've been watching the Gloucester County Educational Network. For my director, Stan Ritter, my partner, Rob Edwards, this has been Shawn Leary signing off right here on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Thanks for joining us, everyone.